I think we're live. Yay, we're live at Facebook. Look at us. Okay, I gotta find you on my laptop again and we can get started. Ooh, I lost you. Maybe I just gotta look at us like everybody else. Okay, can you hear me? And somebody on here with us. Oh, that's me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes. Hi, Coach AJ.
Hey, Coach. Yeah. So it's weird. So I'm gonna put you. I'm looking at you on my phone, but I'm talking to this voice in my laptop because I cannot find the video. So it's awkward for me. But hey, we're here. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I finally am woosahing. So
Yeah.
we're live in the Facebook group for the International Center for Life Coach Training. There's a delay on Facebook. So, for any one of you guys who may jump in last minute live, just know that I see your question a whole lot later than I would like to. So, what we're doing is talking about what happens after you get certified as a life coach. We have 130, no, wait, I'm so off with the numbers. We have 30 coaches now who have certified online this year with the International Center for Life Coach Training. We have several more signing up this week, and I'm so excited. And a lot of the questions that even come after that last part of certification is what's next? So, Boss of Me University is a 12-month program that you can finish in a lot less time, like somebody we know on tonight we're going to talk to. And like a lot of the ladies that have gone through the program, this is our third year implementing what comes next. And so Boston University is 1 year. It's the mentorship slash mastermind. We, at the time of this recording, meet monthly. And it's your what's next. It's your chance to sit with me and to sit with your plan and to sit with the vision you say God has given you and write out how you're going to make your first or next $25,000 in your life coaching company. So it's the option for those of you who complete the 1 day life coach certification training and you want to start a life coaching business to add additional income. And so we sit and we map out what it looks like. But you're not just guessing at this. I literally let you look over my shoulder and listen to the answers that I told myself about 5 years ago for how I would make my first 25,000. And I have well exceeded that since. And I'm happy to share with you how I did it. And so we have here on tonight our most recent successful graduate, Coach Corinthia Denise Dixie. And so she's going to talk about her experience with Boss of Me, hearing my answers, how it helped or not, and what's next on her agenda as a not only newly certified life coach, but a recent Boss of Me graduate. Very, 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 very soon more money maker because you've made money, right? As a coach since graduating.
Yeah, yes.
And so we're going to put this plan in action and see what happens next. And so I want you to imagine yourself in Coach Corinthia's shoes only a few short weeks ago because she breezed through this program and showed me some stuff. So I was like, I got to get this on camera. So can you please introduce yourself, my dear, and tell us, what you do as a coach? Who are you, girl?
I am Mrs. Corinthia Denise Dixie, a newly certified life coach. And I am a very recent graduate at Boston University. And I am getting ready to take all that I have learned and created in Boston University and create and launch products and services to serve my ideal clients.
Yay! So we do have someone live here, almost officially certified, Dr. Reverend Bishop. I'm just playing. Your life coach Eva Porter's in the house, everybody. She said,
hello, Eva.
Hey. Eva, you're in that number of 30, honey.
Yes.
Yeah, we counted you as soon as you registered, but we thank the Lord you're done and You ready for that diploma and you ready to see what's next. So this is what's next, because I know you also mentioned Boston University, and I talk about it a lot in the training. I'm going back through the training with you guys. And so what was Boston Me for you? Like, let's go back 30 days ago. Like, I can't even like see you before that. So let's start there. And tell us kind of where your mindset was, because I know you've been like, wait a minute. Like you've been
Right.
revving up to go, but you finally just like took off in the last 30 days and like zoomed through the course and completed your plan. What was the mindset starting out? Like, where were you? What brought you to Boston Me? Let's start there.
So after being certified, it was like, okay, what I do now?
Little emotional.
How do I make the $25,000 now that I have the certification, the tools, and the information that I need to be able to transform someone else's life? It's like, what do I do next? And Boston University was like, this is what you do next. You need to figure out what your baby is going to look like, what it's going to offer, what results is it going to get, how is it going to help your ideal client. And I was like, okay, I need to know. And I was like, okay. So I had it for a while because I was certified in June, right? It was June? Yeah. Because I was here when I
it's hotter than summer, y'all. You know I don't know.
yes, because you hand delivered my certificate and I was in Georgia then. So it was definitely June. And I finished. And it was like, you were like, you have to pick one to go through. And remember, that was like, I don't know which one I'm gonna pick.
Well, let's talk about that real quick. What you mean pick one? What do you mean?
Because Boston V University is designed for you to take one business from start to finish.
Oh, okay. Just one, not like all five ideas that you have to like start a ministry and a nonprofit, and you want to design jewelry and write a book and speak. You mean just one? No, thanks. You put coaching in there.
Just one. And I had chosen to take Daddy's
Train everybody. Train is making its appearances, does it every live. Here we go. Go ahead.
Hey, Train. And I had chosen Daddy's Heiress, and I had made it up to module 13, and I was like, this isn't working. I don't know what to do. And he was like, okay, so pause.
What is Daddy's Heiress, though?
So Daddy's Heiress is a business that I own and founded. And its mission is to empower women who believe in Jesus to discover, cultivate, and live the royal life that we inherited through Jesus Christ. And I was like, I could do that, but I don't know. And then we had a conversation. You checked on me. It was like, so you need to pause for a minute and figure it out because you can only take one. And I paused then and said, okay, I'm going to take me, Mrs. Corinthia Denise Dixie, through Boss of Me as a life coach. And that's what I decided to do.
So you put one business aside to focus on you as a newly certified life coach. And you said, the information I just learned in this 1-day online life coach certification training with the International Center for Life Coach Training, LLC, with Coach AJ. I need to put this to use. So let me take me as the brand, as the new coach through this business to see how I can make my first $25,000. Is that right? Did I get on it?
Yes, ma'am. That's right.
Okay, so now you're there because like you mentioned, when you thought you were going to take one business through it, you got to like module 13 of a year-long process, which by the way, Boss of Me University is designed for one module a week for 52 weeks. So there are those 52 modules. So she got to the first 20%.
Right.
And it was like, eh. And then she went back. And I was like, look, you ain't gonna keep starting and stopping now. You need. So she got to start the idea, just me as a new coach. Let's start from scratch. You started again. What was the different mindset? Because something shifted. I don't know what it was, but I was like, okay, coach. So what was that shift where you're like, now it's time to get it in?
Yes. The two things. One, not hitting the money goal. One, and then two, not being prepared to offer a service that will allow me to get the money go.
Okay.
So
Okay.
being
Okay.
certified wasn't helping because I still didn't have a product or nothing to offer to be like, yes, let's do this.
Right. And so I'm glad you said that because as a newly certified life coach, there's so many options you can take. I just realized how to break down the difference to you guys as new coaches, fresh off the street. Y'all just like, I want to coach. And I see a whole world, but I had to bring my vision in to be like, okay, these are the different tunnels you can choose. They all lead to somewhere, but it's up to you. So you have the coach to get certified just to go back to their daily life as a stay-at-home mom, as someone who was looking for something just to add to her list of credentials, put on her resume, kick off her bucket list. It's something she always wanted to do. Cool. You got the person that's in corporate that says, I also want to add this to my resume and build my credibility so that when I show up on my job, they're like, oh, you're a certified coach. You may get a raise, we may give you more responsibilities. So cool. That's the corporate coach part. Then there's the woman like you who comes in and they say, I have this experience in corporate. I have been wanting to become a coach for a long time, and I can see myself, if only on nights and weekends, using that to bring in an additional revenue stream. So I want to formulate some type of a business, whether it's part-time or full-time. I want it to count as a revenue stream in addition to my 9 to 5, in addition to what I already have going on. And then there's the people who are very active in their ministries. They are ministers, elders, pastors, bishops, deacons, relationship couple counseling in the church. And they say, I want to add coach to the title counselor so I can be more respected in the nonprofit arena, which is usually ministry, nonprofit work, youth services, things like that. They usually don't want to charge, or they think that their audience can't afford them. But my focus is on those of you that I can weed out of all of those people and just focus in on the ones who want to make money. And Boss of Me is that lane to do that. And so you saw this as, oh, like you said, that money making opportunity. And so you took it and you started to map out your money, right?
Yep.
So tell us what that journey started to look like. You know, it's starting to make sense. You're taking yourself through it as a coach. This is my revenue stream, and this is how I'm going to make it. I got to write it out. What was that process for you?
It was hard because seeing it on, well, first, after getting to that, before you get to that module, you're doing all the work of identifying like who you are, the strengths that I have, the gifts that I have, and all the things that people say about me that influence their life. Is like, I realize, oh, I do have some value. Like,
Right.
worth something on this side of heaven, right?
On this side of heaven, I am somebody.
I am somebody. And because of that, I now can use it to like serve other people and still get paid for it. So when like when husband is like, I want to do X, Y, and Z, I'm like, oh, I want to help and contribute. How am I going to do that? And Boss of Me is like, you got to charge for it, pumpkin. You got to write it down and you got to have something for people to purchase. And when I got to that point, I was like, okay, breathe. And you was like, you can do this. I know you can do this. Just do it. And if you got to go back and listen to something again, listen to something again. And then to hear your story around how you come up with the pricing and how that works, was like, okay, so I want to live like this, and this. It's going to cost me this, and this to do that. And now what is the product or service that's going to open that possibility for me? And I was like, okay, yep, I want to get my nails done. Yep, I want to travel. Yep, I want to contribute to the housewife, babe, entrepreneur. Yep, I want to keep all of these things. And Boss of Me is going to be like, yep, you can do it.
Yes. Okay. So what I love about Boss of Me is that all those audiences mesh together when you become money focused, business minded, entrepreneurial in the skills, because y'all come with degrees and certifications and other things. Y'all are smart. You know a lot already, but I'm teaching you how to get out of one mindset and into the next. It's okay to be in ministry. It's okay to have a 9 to 5. It's okay to just add this to your resume. It's okay to just check this off your bucket list. But if you're ready to make money and combine all those skills, it starts with Boss of Me. So like Eba saying, oh yeah, I do have some value. So Boss of Me starts there. Yes, you do have value, minister. You do have value, nonprofit worker, pastor, corporate leader. You do have value 9 to 5. Y'all have these titles: director, supervisor, manager, masters of social work, counselor. Like, you come with these degrees. You do have value. And like you said, people have told you what that value is. And so Boss of Me begins with sitting you down with that value. And it
Yes,
says,
a
now
long
go
look in the mirror.
ask him, go talk to your boo, go talk to your coworkers, go talk to your best friends. I had to do this too. Y'all, what do I bring to the table as an entrepreneur, as a wife, as a best friend, as a cousin, as a sister? You start bringing all of those titles into one, because if you're already doing this in your regular life, imagine when you can use that skill of who you already are. And like you said, start getting your hair done, start getting your nails done, taking trips, contributing to the household income. And it ain't hurting you. It's adding to what you already said you wanted to do as a coach. So I love that you took title coach, money maker, sitting with who you are. Okay, what came next?
After that, it was like, okay, so I know this is what I want to make, and who is going to pay me to do that? So it was like, who am I about to serve? Who is the person? So having to sit with and identifying, what does this person do? Where do they live? What do they need? What problems do they have? How are you going to solve it? And then let's create the solution in a way that they can purchase it.
Right. So here you are sitting with your value. People have told you what your value is. You see how that value can make money. You know how much money you want that value to help you make so that you can contribute to your household income. And you're like, okay, who are the people that's going to pay me for this value? I know family and friends, they count, but they don't count. But,
Right.
who can I find that resembles the family and friends who have told me how much I've helped them, how much I contributed to their life? Where can I find these people? So what was your thought process with that? As you're like, okay, now I got to go find somebody to be all this too and get paid. Okay, what's next?
It's, well, in Boss of Me, you tell us exactly how to do it. You say verbatim, you need to do check here, check here, check here, check here. And if you, when you get there, ask these questions. And then just taking those questions and like, whoop, let me pop them over here. Whoop, let me put them over here. Whoop, let me put them over here. It's like, okay, tribe over here, tribe over here. Like, you were very specific about the things we need to ask to find our tribe.
Yes, I love that. Okay, so I'm pulling up the Boss to Me website so that
Okay.
I can talk about not necessarily what's in it, because
Right.
everybody that wants to be in Boss to Me does not get in Boss to Me. It's very elite and exclusive because I'm very picky. I am very bougie. Tell them about your coach. I'm proudly wearing that title, and I can. This is the beauty of building your coaching company. But I understand that you got to start where you are. And so that's why we start with, okay, what's that value? What do I want to meet? Monthly or yearly with the value that I bring? Who are the people that I can bring it to? And where do I start? So now that we have, and that's the personal development portion of Boss of Me, because coaches need coaching. And this is me coaching you through the life coaching part of building a business, because we are our brands as coaches. And so we have to know where to start. And it starts with personal development. So we started getting real with looking in the mirror and what do you see in you? And what do you think you can bring to the world? And what are your action verbs that describe your value? And so we go from personal development, now that you got your mind right, to business mission. Can you talk about that a little bit?
So in business mission, you have to identify what is it, what is the goal? Why are you choosing to serve this group of people? And how do you see yourself getting there? What is the roadmap that gets you to these group of people so that you
Yes.
can achieve the vision of your coaching business?
I'm being a little ghetto right quick. Sorry, my toes cold. I didn't turn on my heat before I sat down. That's why I'm coughing. So anyway, I got some on my toes. Now, when you said, okay, personal development, check. You learn how to let that real you come through, because that's what you're going to have to show others that you offer. Then you got into the business mindset. Okay, now that I know what I offer, I know that I got to find people to offer it to. Let me kind of write out the mission of the business. Well, let me break down mission and vision. So vision is what you see. Like, I can see myself as a coach. I can see myself helping others, and I can see how I'm going to do it. Your mission is how you're going to get there. I look at it as your feet. This is your feet. You got to go out to do that thing. So how am I going to go out? I see the vision, but how am I going to get there? And so Boss of Me dives into that, not only the vision, because I need you to write the vision and make it plain. That's the word. I didn't make that up. That's Bible.
Right.
That's scripture, as they say. And then mission is, okay, now let's spend some time with how you're going to get to these people. And so we not only, well, we start with what's your vision? And then I do what's called vision elevation. Let's elevate that vision because God sees us bigger than what we see ourselves. We got an idea for what we want to do, but child, we ain't even on his level.
Right.
Let's think a little bit higher because he can even go exceedingly and above that, right? So now you're getting scared because I'm telling you, how to multiply your vision and like, oh God, I can do so much more. And I can tell when the nervousness kicks in, the fear kicks in. But here you are with this new vision for your business. You're learning how to get there. And Boss of Me is teaching you that, starting with those benefits. What are the benefits and the results of people working with you? Why should they work with you versus another coach that's come through the International Center for Life Coach Training, LLC? So talk about that. What was it like to start bringing out those things like how you could help people and also meet the professional goals that you had as you set those intentions to make money and use your title as a coach, offer those services to people who need it? How was it like trying to flesh that out to how to explain to people, you should choose me because blank? What was that mindset like for you?
Always remembering that people are buying results. I struggle a lot with taking what I see for people into words that say a clear result, especially the Jesus in me, because everything is churchy and sounds churchy. So it's like, great, that is cute and churchy, but I need you to put results in words that people can see and translate and say, oh, yes, I am stuck here and you can get me to here, is like the language that I spent a lot of time around. And I was like, I got to be clear without the churchy. Not that Jesus went somewhere, but someone reading it needs to be able to know, well, what is a woman of faith? What does that look like? What does that sound like? Who is she, right? What kind of faith is that?
What is faith, right?
What is faith? And having to sit with that and try to and put it into the results that people can buy is like, okay, Jesus, I see you. Right? That's the point of I can do all things. I can take this and put this in words that make sense so people can buy results, because that's what they buy. Like Boss of Me is a program that got me the results that I needed.
Oh my gosh, you explained that so beautifully, because I know your thing was this side of heaven on this. And I was like, child, if you don't tell people what this, everybody at the moment that I know of that I talk to and see is on this side of heaven. What does that mean? Or woman of faith. What does that mean? Because I've learned in this coaching journey that spiritual principles or spirituality, what we think they are growing up in church, is completely different to a psychic reader, a witchcraft worker, a tarot card reader, a crystal light and energy healer. These are things in the life coaching industry. So you have to be specific, non-judgmental. You just have to set yourself apart to say, we believe in Jesus Christ. We believe in the Christian faith. We operate on these biblical principles. Like, you can start getting clearer and clearer and clearer and breaking it down, and then open up the mindsets of those that you're now saying. And as a result of these beliefs, or as a result of these business principles, these are some of the benefits of working with us. These are the results that we can promise you, but let me put it in languaging that you can understand and relate to, so that we can connect one-on-one. So you're talking to potential clients, like you said, what you can offer as a coach, but they don't know. Hearing faith and this side of heaven and spirituality and all that stuff, you have to be able to break down those benefits in layman's terms so that you attract the right people. So you got that languaging together. You're now combining your skills that you brought with you to class, your title, your professional goals to make money. You know how you can help people. Now you know how to tell the people how you can help them. What did it look like to dive into who those people were exactly when you start having to break down who you were going to serve and what you wanted this woman of faith to look like when she showed up. Because as you know, in Boss of Me, I tell you who that woman of faith was, and it describes you to a T.
Right. Yes. You have some very clear models to follow on crafting those pieces. Like you say, for example, and then you do it like you are here in Boss of Me because you are this, and this. So now, if you switch seats, who is sitting on the other side of you? And now write out what that person looks like, sound like, even what magazine does she read?
Come on, old magazine. Come on, Enterprise magazine. Come on, Success
What is she
magazine.
reading?
What is she
How does she
reading?
relax? Yes.
How does
and
she
it's
relax?
like
That was my favorite part,
when
though.
you get to
How
that
does she
point.
relax? Say it again. We on a delay. Go ahead. Uh-oh. You still there? Lord, did I mess something up? I gotta find. Oh, I know where my Zoom video went. Hold on, y'all. Okay, cool. So we said, how does she relax? What does she read? How does she relax was my favorite part. What did you think about that part?
It was good because it wasn't something I considered as part of the woman. Like if
Right.
you that's just not something I considered, but you were like, nope, you got to think about how she relax.
Right.
Especially if she's a Black professional woman. How does she spend her downtime?
Of faith. Because you won't necessarily find us in the club. You won't necessarily find us in a cigar bar. You got to think like your client thinks, because you got to know where to find them. And so getting into what they read and how they relax shows up in your marketing and in your advertising. So wherever they are, you want to be too. So it's really important to dig into that client profile, or your business bestie, as I call it in Boss of Me. And so as you dealt into who she was and you got clear on how to, when you meet her, where you would find her, what she would look like, and how you would tell her what you did, then you got into your messaging, or what we call your super sexy signature speech or story. What is a part of that story that you would tell her when you guys are now face to face and she is perfect? You know, you can help her. She doesn't know yet, but she's listening. What is something that you say when she says, well, who are you? What do you do? How can you help me?
I share what my struggle was and what I did to overcome it, so that she can see herself in where I was, and then also look forward to the result that I now have because of the actions I took to get there.
All right, somebody did that.
And we have to script it out.
That part. Because you can hear what we're talking about, but you don't know the details. Like, I'm summarizing what you did in detail, and it wasn't skip here, go here, you know, a quick turnaround, overnight success. You actually did the work for all of these step by step based on what Boss of Me teaches you. And then now you're starting to see how that messaging shows up when you tell your story, when it's a conversation, when you're relating to where she is, and then you're tying in what you do as a coach along with those benefits. In the back of your mind, you got those professional goals, you know, that you're trying to meet, but you're now showing her how to get to her next level. And this is all that you wanted to do from the beginning, when you said, oh, I do have value. Oh, I can charge for this. Oh, here we are with this money-making opportunity. Let me show her how I can help her. And so now when she does things like visit your website, or you meet face to face, or she may see you on a Facebook Live, she'll see things like your signature messaging showing up repeatedly, reminding her of how you can help her using what we call that unique questioning process. You're asking specific questions that lead her into interest. So if she said, how can you help me? You have a story for her, but then you also have questions for her to make sure she's a good fit. And then she's like, oh my gosh, this sounds exactly like what I need. Tell me about your pricing. How much? And what is that conversation like? You're getting ready to like go into that money making. It's becoming real. That 25K is like right there. You can touch it. What's that mental process that you're in right now? Like, oh my God, I'm about to quote my price.
Right. I can relax and breathe because it's not about selling them the price. It's about selling them the result. And you specifically lay out how to close the sale, how to get
Uh-huh.
them to say yes. There is a method to do it when I'm in that one-on-one conversation to get them to say, okay, where do I send my check, credit card, cash to start working with you? It's nothing that I have to guess at, nothing to be like pondering over time. Boss of me is like, here, this is how you close it. And you share examples of people who have tried it and done it.
Come on. And I got this revelation in a Tiffany's experience, going into the Tiffany store and just modeling their process. And I'm like, oh, that's how they get you to the little Tiffany blue box, right? And so I talk about that in that 5-part sales success system. And just how it's not salesy, it's not pushy, it's not like you said, you're not selling them on a price, you're selling them on a result. I love that your mindset is there. Like I have loved your mindset since the beginning of how to make getting in Boss of Me work for you. And you didn't say, I ain't got it, I can't afford it, let me put some on it, maybe later, let me go pray about it, let me go talk to my husband. He was like, let me see how I'm about to afford this. And I was like, because you said that, dear, and it came from your heart, you worked that thing out, and so did God.
I remember that conversation because I was in line at Chick-fil-A and I was voicemailing you. And I was like, yep, I'm going to figure this out. Don't worry. How many blanks do I have to sell to?
That part
Yep.
right there. And so you made a way, which showed me that you come in with a skill already of being in business as a new life coach is a mindset. It's not about, can I do this? You may need help with where to start. You definitely need guidance on like mapping out a system for making money repeatedly. But it's a mindset. That whole process is a mindset. And so we talk about that with systems and structures in Boss of Me, and being comfortable with making the sale, allowing that money to come in so that you can meet those goals, but also putting it in a way that is structured so that you can repeat this, even if you wanted to go back through this model with another business idea that y'all have. Because you can get to the end of Boss of Me, like one of our coaches, Janae, she was already a certified coach when I met her. She went through Boss of Me and she realized at the end, like, oh, well, I don't want to be a business owner at all. This is what I want to do. And she completely shifted her life. She got into health and nutrition. She lost 150 pounds. She moved, I think, back to New York from Atlanta. She started living the life that she really wanted to live. But because this was so clear to her now, she had a process for like, I know what's for me and what's not for me. And that was an unexpected outcome, but very, very, very clear on what she wanted her next business model to be. She knew the model that she didn't want was coaching, but she knew that she wanted to shift into another model. And Boss of Me made it so clear because now she had, like you mentioned, a checklist. She had a point system. She had structure for how to use what she had, maximize on those skills, and now start making money off of it because now it's clear. She ain't trying to figure it out on her own.
Right.
And from the sounds of it, that's where you are too. Like, you know what to go do right now. And speaking on your behalf, you're doing it. Like, you are starting to get out there, get your feet wet with confidence. I don't hear hesitation. I don't hear, where should I start? What should I do? Where should I go? What can I offer? How much can I make? Who can I sell? You're just so like, let
Yes.
me
And
tell
that
you
was
about
not the
my new
case
program.
before Boss of Me. You
There
can
it
add
is.
that to the results: peace and confidence.
Peace and confidence as a result of Boss of Me. Oh my goodness. If
Yep.
nothing else, you will definitely get that in addition to the plan for what's next. Where do I go? What do I do? Who do I serve? And while I touch on some of those points in the life coach certification process, again, I mentioned the ministers or the nonprofit workers, those in the corporate culture, those that just want to check something off their bucket list. Everybody's not getting certified as a life coach to become a business owner. But if you're looking
Right.
for how to take your title as a coach, your brand as a coach, and start building on that message and story, etc., then Boss of Me is the way to go and where to start. So talk to the women who are looking to be where you are today, or even where you were when you got clarity on which business you were going to take through Boss of Me, and as you went through it, what kept you pressing? Because honey, you pressed your way. You checked in. You told me where you were. You told me what your schedule was like for the month, and you worked through it. How can you encourage someone who needs to be right in that moment where you were this time last month? Talk to them real quick.
Go, if you are that woman, go back to why you even wanted to be a coach, right? The who needs you. Like Coach AJ, there's somebody somewhere. If you're going to get to that somebody somewhere, you have to go through Boston University. And then you will find yourself with everything you need to find and serve that person that's somewhere waiting on you. Because in the absence of it, you will stay there like, okay, so what I do next? And you'll just be sitting in a seat of, I'm certified. I'm certified. And then you'll become that woman that's on the other side, which is why Coach AJ does what she does, is we're the fastest growing population of entrepreneurs, but yet we make less than $25,000 a year. And if that's not the story you want, then go through Boston University so you can be on the other side and make the 25,000 above and serve the people that is somewhere waiting on you that need their light to shine.
Come on, Bankhead Bounce.
Oh. And when you get there, please know that the modules are connected, and it gets clearer and clearer and clearer. And I think I know the clarity along the way pushes you to keep going, because now you're like, okay, I got that part. What we going to do next? What I'm going to learn in this next module, right?
Fun, yeah.
Yes.
Like, oh, I wonder what my answers will be to the next. And they're not long modules. It's running a successful coaching business is a lot of small moving pieces. You know, even us being here today, me rushing home, and I'm telling you, give me 15 minutes, and then us figuring out the tech, and then sharing this opportunity with people in our group who want to be in Boston Me. It's just so many little moving pieces that you can get them though. You know what to do. Yeah, it's a little hectic, but you know, if you do this, and this, it'll start working. The wheel starts moving. And like they say, you don't have to reinvent the wheel once it's going. You maybe can switch out some pieces, but you start to oil that machine, so it's not that back and forth. You're like actually making progress moving forward. And like I said, I see that in you already, because I could tell as you went through the modules, the momentum built. I could tell you were excited for your answers because you sent me your homework, even though I was like, you don't have to send me your homework, but you did it. And I could tell you were getting excited about the vision finally coming to light. You know how to do it now. You know what to do. Now, whether or not, I know you're going to do it because you're already doing it. But some people, like I said, get through Boss of Me and their mission changes, or they forget the plan, because it's so much fun to map out and plan. It's fun planning things, but to get out and do it, the part that you can now look forward to is that credit card swipe. Is when someone says, there we go, $2,000. Okay, what's next? Like you said with me, okay, what's next? And you like, ooh, okay. Well, now let's get into the actual program. Let's break down what it's like to work with me as your coach. Here are your results. Here are your benefits. And all of it's looking back on your plan for how you said you wanted to do it. So that's why I love that I share my story going through Boss of Me. God gave me that idea. I took my business through it 3 times. The first time was with my coach. She gave us 100 days to make our first 100K plan, $100,000 plan. And then the second time, because I'm such a visual learner, I wrote it out the first time. The second time I was typing it. And as I was typing it, God was like, you're ready to teach this. And I was like, really? And so I audio recorded it. And that's the program you get. So I remember one question you asked me recently was like, well, Coach AJ, what did you mean by blah? I was like, girl, I recorded this 3 years ago. I don't know,
But you went back. You didn't leave me hanging. You went back and listened, and you was like, okay, this is what we doing.
Yeah, I did. And that's
not
what I enjoy with you guys. I go through portions of the program. If you say a video's not working or you didn't get something, I know the modules are not long. So if I'm out running errands, I pop in my AirPod, I play that same recording you're listening to, and I'm like, oh. And then I say, well, keep listening, because I know and you know what's the most fun for me, and I look forward to you having these moments, is although I recorded that program years ago, when I hear what I'm about to tell you in the module, my answer would be exactly the same as what I hear myself say 3 years ago. And so if I had to verbally answer this in person today without a recording, my answers would match, because I know what the modules are. I know that portion of business building. And I'm like, keep listening, answer that question, go back and rewind, and some of our Boss of Me graduates have said, I love the fact that I can go back and listen to you tell me what to do again. And it
Again,
starts
yep.
to sink in. And I laugh at myself because I'm sitting here listening, like, yeah, that's exactly what I would tell her today. And it's right on the money. So it is an evergreen program that is ongoing, and we onboard new students all throughout the year. But again, it is exclusive. I do not allow everyone in because I know everyone's not ready. And I know my coaching style. I can tell. Like, one of my gifts is gifts of prophecy. And if my spirit don't feel right about someone coming in or someone who applies, we give them other resources because Boss of Me may not be for them because it's so intense. Like I said, a lot of little moving pieces, and you got to be willing to do the work, but you also have to have that work ethic to complete it. Don't just get in it and be like, oh, I'll start this time next year. Yeah, no, you got to kind of get in there now and not drive me crazy doing it.
Right.
So, what's next for you as we wrap up? Because I know you got some things to do, and I'm looking forward to
Yes.
getting warmer. I'm still cold, but what's next? You finished Boss of Me. You're a newly certified life coach. What's on the agenda that's maybe hidden somewhere in your plan that you're like, okay, now I'm ready for blank?
Yes. In January, I'm going to launch my first group coaching program.
Tell us more, money maker.
Yes. Right. So today actually launches my series of live videos, getting the audience ready for who I am as a life coach. What is it that I do? Who do I serve? So that they are prepared to take the journey with me. So that at the end of December, they are ready to swipe and say, yes, Coach Corinthia, help me discover purpose on this side of heaven.
All right, on this side of heaven on today.
On today.
Well, I thank you so much for letting me learn with you, sharing your experience as you travail throughout Boston Me University on this side of heaven. I know you'll still show up on our calls. You are now an alumni, you are or an alum, you are a mentor. There will be people that come after you, just like with coaching, and people love watching you guys. Like, they email me and they're like, "Oh, coach so and so," they say your first and last name, and they're like, "I loved her story and her personality, and she was so relatable in the training," or "I seen her video with you and I really could see myself where she is," or "She has a similar business to what I want to do." So you are going to now inspire people. Your story of starting with how can I dot 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 to now I can dot dot dot, it will inspire more people than you know. So this is a part of you being a legacy builder and a legacy leaver. So I just want to say thank you for taking the time to share your experience, to go through Boss of Me, and to let us witness just that journey and what it was like for you.
Thank you, Coach AJ. It was fun.
Any final words before we go?
Don't just do it. Don't think about it. Just do it.
Just
Just do it. Just
do
do
it.
it.
So, for those of you who are watching live or to the replay, if you're interested in Boss of Me University, I'm sure we've had a conversation about it. If the invitation was extended to you, then get ready to do what Coach Corinthia has done. Learn what it takes to take your life coaching business to the next level. And take a minute to pour into the vision that you say God has given you, because this is a systemized process. And I'm happy to share that with you. And so are other coaches who have done this successfully. So if you're looking for next steps and how to keep moving, you're not letting obstacles hold you back, then accept the invitation if the invitation has been extended, because this time next year could look so much different for you, or in Coach Corinthia's case, this time next month could look different for you. Before we go, final words. Just to me, as someone who's going to go in and make this program even better for the next, we'll call them the next generation of coaches. Talk to me directly about that experience of making it even better, um, coach to coach.
Experience of making it better from coach to coach.
Act like ain't nobody watching or listening. Talk to Coach AJ.
um, I would say taking the audio from Google and placing it in a different platform, like Spotify or something that we just press it and play, press it and play, press it and play, press it and play. Yeah. It'll save storage on the downloading. It'll just press and play, press and play. Yeah, that would be it.
Like, I like that. Pour into your coach. Anything else? You sure? What is on your okay? So take a minute to pour into me as your coach. That's what I'm asking. You there? Uh-oh. That might be our cue to wrap up. We got like a few minutes
Okay.
left. I'm playing around with time. There we go.
Boston University definitely provides solutions and results. It is definitely doing the thing that you said that it would do. Um, those of us who take it will get the result that is intended for us to get. And there is no need to think differently, question it, or be like, I don't know, because here it is, X amount of years later. And as a new coach, I am able to be in a place that's like, yes, let's get it. You can get it, you can get it, you can get it. Anybody that fits my ideal client can get it. And all of those of us who are now certified, this is the next answer. And just know that it is. And go to sleep every night knowing that Boston B University does what it's supposed to do.
Amen and hallelujah on this side of heaven on today, right, Eva? Eva's over here co-signing. All right, coach, I'm gonna let you go for real, for real. Thank you so much. Thank your family for letting us borrow you to share about your experience. I know that you have a strong support system at home, and you also have that in us here in the coaching community. And thank you for being now a mentor, like I mentioned, an alum that is willing to pour back in the next generation of coaches that'll come through Boston Me.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's say this together. You ready? Remember,
Yes, there's somebody
someone somewhere
somewhere is waiting on
waiting on you
you
to
to
walk
walk
in your destiny
destiny.
so they can
To
walk into
walk in
theirs.
there.
Because
It's
it's when
let
you
your
let
light
your
shine. You give permission to others to let that light shine.
all right, guys. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you again, Coach Corinthia. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see y'all soon.
Yes, bye y'all.
Bye. Okay, so I know we're still recording. Forgive me, y'all, because I am trying to figure out how to get out of this now. So one moment, please. Un momento. Okay, so I'm clicking on you, bring you back up. We are